Contrast your rear bumper with a heavy-duty front bumper or other tough accents on your 2021 or newer Ford Bronco. This Barricade Trail Force rear bumper is an easy and affordable way to do it. Not only will this be great for the Bronco owner in need of a style change to create a more aggressive and rugged aesthetic to their build, but also to add some function and utility to the back of their rig. The included features like the recovery and light mounting options are great for the hybrid driver who's going off-road every now and again, to the more advanced off-roader who wants a solid bumper they can rely on, whether it be on fire trails or tougher terrains, and doesn't want to spend a fortune while doing it. Now this has a full wraparound design with a more angular construction, which offers that aggressive feel to the back compared to what the factory rear bumper was giving, and provides some solid protection with angled ends to keep off-road clearance in mind. Now speaking of clearance, this does have an oversized cutout in the center, which accommodates a larger spare if you're currently having fitment issues or you do plan on upgrading to a larger tire size. And with the wide cutout, it also doubles as a step for better roof access. Now on either side, this also features D-ring mounts and included D-rings with a 9,500 pound pulling capacity, making sure that your Bronco has a rear point of recovery so you are prepared for those just-in-case moments. Now next to the D-rings on either side, this bumper also includes mounts for lighting if you choose to add them into this build over time or just want to customize your setup to your preference. Now in the meantime, for the light mounts, or if you choose not to use them, this does come with honeycomb inserts for a more finished appearance. This is made of a heavy-duty steel plate construction for some peace of mind that this will hold up well in the event of any hazards and impacts and protect the rear end of your Bronco in doing so. Now on top, this has a two-stage finish with an epoxy pre-coating and a textured black powder coat to prevent any rusting or surface damage or scratching on the bumper over time. This bumper also accommodates the OE backup sensor, so you don't have to worry about sacrificing that feature, and comes with a license plate bracket and license plate lighting to make sure that this rear bumper stays up to OE standard. This is one of the most affordable options in the category for a rear bumper at around $425. Now what stands out about this bumper compared to a lot on the page is that it's simple and to the point with its features and its design, being great if you don't need to go overboard with the look and the function. Now while being a more toned down option compared to other flashier choices, it's got great benefits that are sure to make a difference whether you're on or off-road, and of course turn some heads with the rugged look, making it a great choice if you want a good looking and well-rounded rear bumper at a good price point. Install is a straightforward 1 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter and should only take about 2 hours to get the job done. Now at this point, I'm going to hand it over to one of our installers who is going to show you a full breakdown, step-by-step on how you can install this on your Bronco at home. So that's going to wrap it up for my review. Let's go ahead and get into the install.
For this install, you will need an impact, a ratchet, 1/4 inch to 3/8 adapter if necessary, 10, 13, 16, and 18 millimeter sockets, the provided Allen wrench, needle nose pliers, wire strippers and crimpers, a clip removal tool, 10 millimeter line wrench, 10 millimeter ratchet wrench, and also not shown here, spade connectors and T-taps, and also an extra set of hands to help you with the bumper. What's up guys, today we're going to be doing a rear bumper on our Bronco, so let's get started. So the first thing we have to do is remove our factory rear bumper. Now underneath we have 2 18 millimeter bolts, a 13 millimeter bolt, and a plug for our tag light harness on both sides. And we're going to remove our tow hook as well with 1 clip. So we'll get under there and get that going. So now we're underneath the driver's side of the bumper, and first thing we're going to do is unplug our tag light harness. So we're going to grab our clip remover tool, pop this out of its little seating clip. Sometimes they're a little stubborn. Get that out. And we can unplug this. It has a tab up top. Press that in and unplug that. Next, we're going to remove this 13 millimeter bolt on the back side of our frame horn with our 13 mil socket on our impact. Now we're going to remove the locator clip for our tow hook as well as the 2 18 millimeter bolts. So we've got our clip remover tool. We can pop this out first. We'll grab our 18 millimeter socket on our impact, get these 2 bolts out. Now you want to grab your tow hook as well because that's going to come out with these. And once you have these out, you can do the same thing for the other side. So now that we have all of our hardware out, we're ready to go ahead and pop our bumper off. Now, one thing we did do was remove our spare tire. It's not really 100% necessary depending on the size of your tire, but if you have an oversized wheel, you definitely want to take that off. So whatever lug nuts you use, pop that off and set it aside. And we're going to grab our bumper and pull it out. Now we can set this aside. Alrighty guys, so now that we have our factory bumper off, we've got our new bumper up on the table and we're going to begin assembling some pieces on that. We're going to start with our end caps. So we're going to grab our cap right here, and that's going to line up right on the end. There are 2 bolt holes that are going to be securing that. And how we're going to secure that is 2 of our 4mm Allen head bolts with lock washers and flat washers, as well as another flat washer and a hex nut. So now we're going to take our end cap and one of our bolts. We'll get the bolt through first. Line our end cap up, and on the back side of that, we're going to get our flat washer and our hex nut. Now this is kind of a tight space, so just have some patience with it. Once we get that first one loosely secured, we'll do the same thing for this bottom hole. Once we have these loosely in place, we'll snug down our caps. So we're going to grab our provided Allen wrench and our 10mm ratchet wrench. Now once you start to get your first one snug, you want to make sure this is lining up how you want it, nice and flush. And we'll come in and tighten both of these down. Now once you have this side on, you can do the same thing for the other side. Next, we're going to mount our tag bracket. So that's going to go in the 2 mounting holes up front here, again on the driver's side of the bumper. So we're going to grab 2 more of our provided Allen bolts with lock washers and flat washers, as well as another flat washer and hex nut on the back side, and we'll get that in place. So we'll line this up and get our first bolt through, just like we did with our end caps. We'll hold that in place. Then on the back side, again, we'll get a flat washer and our hex nut. We can come in with our second one. Once you have that in place, you want to again grab that provided Allen wrench, and for this one you can use your 10mm socket on an impact or a ratchet. Next, we're going to get our small mesh grill inserts into our openings on each side of our bumper. These are going to mount in from the back side. So what you want to do, grab yet another one of your provided Allen bolts with a lock washer and flat washer. Get one through the front side. We'll get our grill lined up on that. Then another flat washer, followed by another hex nut. You want to try to get that one a little bit hand tight. Gonna help hold that position. Then we'll install our other 3 bolts and washers and come back and tighten it down. Now once you have all 4 of your bolts in, you want to make sure your grill piece is centered. We'll take our provided Allen wrench, get that into our bolt head, and on the back side we'll use our 10mm socket on our impact and tighten these down. And once you have this side on, you can do the same thing for the other side. So now before we install our bumper, there's a couple things we need to do on our vehicle. The first of which is to wire in our new tag lights for our new tag light bracket. So what we're going to do is come to that connector we unplugged earlier, and we're going to use some T-taps. We're going to get 2 on, 1 for ground and 1 for power. Now your black wire is going to be a ground wire. So we're going to set our T-tap. So we've got our black wire in the metal saddle of our T-tap. We're going to close that around it. Now what I like to do for a nice secure connection, take some needle nose pliers, just gently squeeze this closed with the pliers, and you're not putting a lot of force on it, just enough to where it'll lock into place. And we're going to do the same thing for our yellow wire, that's going to be our power. Put that into the saddle, close that up around it. Next, we're going to grab our tag lights themselves. Now these do come individual per light, but we're going to combine those into our spade connectors so we can just plug into 1 power and 1 ground. So the first thing we'll do is strip away some of our sheathing with our strippers. And you just want to give them a nice light twist just to make sure there's no stragglers. Makes things go a lot easier. And we'll do the same thing for our other tag light as well. And once we have all of our wires stripped, we're going to combine both of these. We'll match up the reds and the blacks. Pigtail these together. And we'll take our spade connector, slide these in. We'll take our crimper, give that a nice crimp. Now once you do your crimp, I like to give a light tug on these just to make sure this connection is solid. And we'll do the same thing for our ground wires. Okay, now both your tag lights are good to go. Now we can install our support brackets into the ends of our frame horns. So these are going to slide in with the threaded portion facing the outside of the vehicle. We want these two bolt holes to line up. Once we get that lined up, we're going to take one of our provided bolts with a lock washer and flat washer. And we're going to install that into the lower hole. So you just want to get this bolt in a couple threads. This is going to be helping with our alignment of our bumper. The bottom mounting point here is going to be open-ended on the bumper. So we'll do the same thing for the other side. So now I've got an extra set of hands to help me lift the bumper in place. So we're going to line it up with those bolts we loosely installed at our bottom opening. And then we're going to get our provided 16mm bolts with lock washers and flat washers into that other threaded opening. And then we'll come back and install the rest of our hardware. So now we can get our provided 18mm bolts with lock washers and flat washers into our factory mounting points at the bottom of our frame horns. Once we get those started, we'll grab our 18mm socket, our impact, and tighten these down. Once you have those two tight, grab our 16mm socket and tighten down our two side bolts. Once you have all these tight on this side, you can do the same thing for the other side. All right, so now we can come in with our tag light wiring, and we're going to come back to our harness where we added our T-tab, and our black wires are going to go into our black wire for our ground. Make sure that plugs all the way in. Then our red wires are going to go into that yellow wire we tapped in earlier. And we're going to take our harness, set that up around our bumper. Now we can get our tag lights mounted to our tag light bracket. So they've got a nut and washer on the back side. Slide these through into the brackets and then come in with our 10mm wrench and tighten those down. And we'll get our tag light through, our washer and nut started on the back side. Obviously you want your light facing down towards your tag. Take our 10mm wrench. I like to use a line wrench for these. Tighten that down, and we can do the same thing for our other light. Now for your excess wiring, you can take that and tuck it back behind your bumper. Get that tucked back in. You can secure this out of the way however you'd like, with zip ties or whatever you so choose. You just want to make sure it's nice and neat and not hanging down where it's going to catch anything, especially if you're off-roading. And once you have your lighting all set, you can mount your tag. We'll grab our provided Allen head bolts, lock washers and flat washers. Get a flat washer and a 10mm nut on the back side. We'll do the same thing for our other 3 bolt holes, and we'll come back and tighten them down. And we'll come in with our provided Allen wrench and a 10mm socket, tighten these down. Once you got your first 2 tight, you can do the same thing for the other 2. Now since we don't have parking sensors on ours, we're going to install the provided plug for our sensor holes. So you just simply pop right into place. There are 4 of them. Once you have those 2 on, you can do the same thing for the other side. Now we're going to install our supply D-rings. We'll get this lined up on our toe block, get our pin through, get that hand tight, and you can do the same thing for the other side. Now once you've got everything installed, you can reinstall whatever spare tire you're carrying. Alrighty folks, that about wraps up our review and install of our Barricade Trail Force rear bumper for your 21 to 24 Bronco. Thanks for watching, and as always, for everything Bronco, keep it right here at ExtremeTerrain.com.